I'm gonna try and explain this in a way I don't get bored at like my own story in the next like 5 minutes. So treat this like a podcast episode. I mean, just me explaining the timeline lore and basically all this cool stuff. Okay, I recorded this after I realized the rant was actually 20 minutes long, and I'm just gonna summarize it right here. So David is the son of Raina and Balaam. He has like a pseudo sister, like sibling relationship with Harmonia, and they grew up together in the temple. He was Flores' assistant, but he wanted something more than just being an assistant, and he was envious of how Harmonia was raised to be like this incredible warrior because Raina did not want Harmonia to take the path of her mother or her father. She wanted her to be like an upscale person, and he was always jealous of the fact that she actually had a path for her, while he was the third child. He had no pathway like made out for him. He was basically lost. This takes place after the duel with Raina and Harmonia because of a fight of how David and Harmonia would always get into arguments and rumors, and it's just basically what happens afterwards. Okay, to get into the actual bit, David he's literally witnessed all of this with no context. He's like, why is suddenly, like literally a day after, why is my mom dead? And all of a sudden, and Ariana and Aura are like trying to comfort him, like, oh yeah, but this was like always supposed to happen. Like, she was always supposed to die. Like, she couldn't be around forever. And they're trying their best to comfort him. And he's just like, this is it. I'm done. My life is over. Because he cherished his mom a lot. He basically worshipped his mom. I just can't believe it. I wrote that story. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. And he tries fighting Harmonia over this. He's like, why did you do this? Like, she loved you. And everyone just moved on. But he stayed at the restaurant. Sorry, that's Taylor Swift reference. Okay. I had to go on Tumblr to find my Google Doc to like get a clear timeline. Okay, so after a few years, Raina dies like 1530. So in the year like 1700, he becomes leader of the council, which is basically like this little group in the temple that like oversees like the laws, the land, like they help out the mortals and stuff. It's basically this joint partnership with the actual island. He becomes the leader of that. Like, he's like organized, he knows what he's doing. He's trying to get therapy, but he's like not there. So Kim, she is the granddaughter of Flores. Technically not related. She comes around the island and she's basically like, you guys are all gonna die, and I have the star to prove it. And she just tricks them. She's just like, she gets all their money to like do all these prophecies and stuff. And so the council, they oversee this, and they're like, no, we can't have this happening. And so David tracks her down. He literally finds her in the woods, and he's like, you either come to the temple or you die. Like that, like there's no in between. And like she calls him on his bluff, and they have like this whole spat until he actually like shoots her with an arrow, and like it's a form of arrow. It's kind of like Minecraft when you shoot an arrow at someone and like they kind of get hurt but they don't die from it. It's like the spectral arrow, so it's kind of like that. And she doesn't die because immortal, but she's just like she's arrested basically and captured by the council in the temple where she grew up, and now she's back in the restaurant. And she's back at the temple, and she just tells them, well, sucks to suck. And they really want to kill her. They really want to imprison her in the Hall of Julius, which is basically just killing her at this point. David steps in. He's like, you know what? I can fix her, bro. Like, trust me. Like, I'm the guy you want to help with this case. Like, you can see a pattern of like these immortal beings thinking they can do whatever they want. Basically, they have an ego. It's basically what Maida is foretelling. David goes like the 60-year, they're immortal, the 60-year thing. He just tries to make her what she isn't. Because Kim, she's supposed to represent freedom, like the ability to do what you want. She's a trickster goddess. So TDLR, she leaves, and he's genuinely like, his ego is hurt because she leaves a note saying like, oh, sorry, give the star back to Aranya. And his ego's hurt because he didn't even get a goodbye. So he's gagged. And he's like, I didn't get a goodbye from Reina, his mom. I didn't get a goodbye from Flores. I didn't get a goodbye from Kim. What is my life? What is the purpose of living? Okay, so Marie is an archivist, and basically she quits. She gives up because she realizes like the job is too much like mental, like it's a mental drain on your reality. She couldn't handle it, and she basically assigns him at the job because they feel a lot of pity for him going through all this stuff, and the job makes him a worshiper of Korra. He literally turns to God because of this is so stupid. This lore is so stupid. Okay. Okay, let me... Like, this job really takes a toll on him. Like, he was really good friends with Gale, but, like, during this job, it becomes harder and harder for him to communicate with other people. Like, he's dissociating throughout all his conversations because he's constantly seeing different versions of himself and like other people from different timelines, and he has to like, he's been doing this for hundreds of years. Like, he's been doing this since 1760, and black magic takes place in 2025, so he's been doing this for like a good 200 years. To run it all back, Loretta Dama. We're finally getting to the good part. So Loretta, she kind of hates the fact that a lot of tourists are coming to the island. Like, they're just seeing a romanticized or like fantasized version of the island's real history. And so she wants to escape this reality to instead just, you know, like live her fantasy land in the temple. And she thinks her mentor is Mira Organa, who is best friends with David. And she thinks that if she gets on David's good side, he would put in a good word for her with Reina, because the whole processing thing in the council is like, you have to get a vote from every member of a representative of like the hall. There's this like little statue that like it embodies the soul of the god. It's kind of like the artifact, but you know, if you just pray to it, they'll give you like a message. Like, it's a Mira will be like, oh, do you support Loretta Dama? And this statue would be like, no. Loretta Dama needs to prove that she's a leader and that she's capable. Like, that's Reina's like whole thing, right? So to prove herself, Loretta takes on David's job of basically managing these worlds and just like, you know, taking them off the list of like, what did they do? Like, what's their purpose? She comes to a realization. The only thing that's really gonna impress David and impress Reina, if she solves these 4 mystery worlds, if she solves the puzzle of like how to fix them, because he's been struggling to fix the 3 corrupted ones Mary left behind. Okay, here's where I explain the lore of each timeline. So Mary corrupted like the pathways that would lead to like the core 4, like Amara, Melanie, and Gabriel. Well, it would corrupt their trial, but it would also corrupt like the characters' personalities within the story. Like, for example, the solar eclipse universe, it has both a solar eclipse Gabriel and oceanic Loretta. So you can tell the difference between oceanic Loretta. She has longer hair, it's more curly, like she's more comfortable. She looks like a church girl, basically. She is more inclined to the worshipping of Mar and Reina. She's like, oceanic Loretta is very insane. She's very crazy. She's very devoted to the Organa history. She sacrifices herself because she believes she's better than human life. Like hubris, basically. She's better than this life. When she sacrificed herself, she gave up her humanity. Now she's a mermaid. She's a siren, because like the whole thing with being a descendant of Mar, when you die, basically, either if you're a good person, like if you've done good deeds, like if you've proved yourself to the gods, like you become a mermaid or a siren, basically. Or if you were a bad person, or like you did a lot of shit wrong, you become seaweed, or like you become part of the ocean. Gabriel is literally devastated, and he tries like convincing Reina like to let like Loretta come back. Like he needs to see her again. Like it's kind of like an Orpheus and Eurydice situation, where he just wants to see her again. Like he'll literally die to see her again. And Reina is like, okay, if you prove yourself that you can rise the moon and the sun, I'll bring back your girlfriend. And he fails. Because he's literally a 17-year-old. What do you expect a 17-year-old to do? Okay, I'm literally going insane. Okay. They have like this error they're incomplete, basically. The island only exists at the border. Like nothing is beyond that. And so Loretta's job is to bring Oceanic Loretta back to life and fix whatever her problem is with like her hubris and thing, and then fix Solar Eclipse's Gabriel's goal. Mayflower dimension. I won't be getting into Amara's dimension because I feel like that's really cut and dry of like what happens, and I won't be getting into that right now because it's basically just the old plot to the old story of like Amara needs money for college, so they have to kill Loretta for a necklace. It's basically that. It's not really a really complicated story. It's like just an old thing. All right, for the Mayflower timeline, Melanie, it has to do this trial. She has to find the Flora star because it was stolen, and she has to put it back in its place. For the flowers, because there's like flowers growing all over the island that's making people go to sleep, or like they're putting it under a trance. But she fails at finding the flower, finding the star, and so she's cursed to walk the island, a mindless witch that controls the land, but she can't remember who she is, right? The only thing she remembers is literally just her friends. That's all she remembers. And when she's under this trance, the blood moon dimension. I love this dimension. So when Kim leaves David, he basically goes fucking insane. I wouldn't lie, he goes really insane. Because his ego was hurt, and she proved to him he's not perfect. He is flawed. He has so many issues that he's not willing to recognize at this point, right? And so Kim leaves him, and good for her. And David, he uses his new job as an archivist to mess around a little bit. He figures out how to create a new timeline from Flores' old book that she got from Eleanor. He does, like, he finds all this shit together to make an incomplete timeline. It's not super detailed. It's literally just the island. He takes an old world, like a very old world, and he uses it as like an archetype for this new dimension. He calls it Experiment 001. 001 is basically just to have Kim in it. It's a world where she can't escape. It's a world where there's really, you know, in Minecraft where they have like the little holographic border for like Hunger Games and stuff. It's literally just that. And it's so impossible for her to leave. It's been centuries and she just gave up. She realized that she has no chance against a god. She has no chance. And he controls the entire world. What is she to a god at this point, right? That's her mindset. She's trapped in this world with like no one she could talk with. Like she can't even go into the temple because the temple is incomplete. You can't even go to the temple in 001. And she just gives up. She genuinely just gives up. And it's really sad. Oh, I'm crying. I just shed a tear. And unknowingly, an old version of Loretta comes and sees him working like in his true form, but his true form is like this biblically accurate angel, if I'm being honest. And Loretta sees this and she's just terrified for her life. And she tells like the others like what she sees, and they literally just call her crazy, and just like she just spends like nights waking up like thinking, what am I seeing? The classic brutal animatic scene happens. And when Loretta overpowers Sasha, she presents a new timeline. Like, she gains autonomy. She gains a revelation. This isn't a world for her. She's not meant to be in this world. And Elise finds them. She finds Sasha dead. And she's like, what have you done? Like, this wasn't supposed to happen. And when a script goes off, they're just confused. And like a whole series of events happen where Loretta just kind of goes off the rails, and she realizes all her actions never have consequences because David doesn't care enough to complete the world where something happens to these characters. Like, when they die, no one mourns because like the village is empty. Loretta goes around the village, and there's like, it's just empty beds, it's empty stores, like everything is gone. Like, everything she thought she knew was really just empty this entire time. She just realizes, like, this is it. It's just quiet. There's nothing here. And, she only really has Elise and Gabriel. Anyways, that is the end of my little rant. If you have any questions, I know you guys may have a lot of questions. Or just comments of like how you feel about the story. How do you like my little rant? If you guys want more stuff like this, I would love to make more, even though I get once in a blue moon chance to really film my voice and alone. But I hope you guys enjoyed. And you know what? I'll see you guys later.